This Shabbat, we learn about the final two Torah portions of the book of Bamidbar, the book of Numbers. And before I talk about that, I'd like to mention an oddity in the canon of world literature. The last book that Charles Dickens wrote was called The Mystery of Edwin Drood. Unfortunately, Dickens died before he completed it, so there's always been speculation as to how he planned to solve this mystery. In fact, there was a musical on Broadway by the same name that began by performing Dickens's book as written, and then at the end presented several possible endings in succession. Likewise, there are a bunch of biblical scholars who speculate that when the Torah was initially compiled, the narrative ended at the end of the book of Numbers, at the end of these Torah portions we're studying this Shabbat. So the next question is, when was the book of Deuteronomy included into the Torah? Well, according to many theories, the book was written sometime during the First Temple period, perhaps by an Israelite prophet or a king who was trying to reinforce the Torah values into a nation that was ignoring them. Now, you might not believe this theory, but whether you do or not, consider the possibility that for a number of centuries, the last words of the Torah, as the Israelites knew it, might have been the last words of the second of our portions this week, the Torah portion of Maseh, Ele hamitzvot vehamishpatim asher tziva Adonai biyad Moshe El b'nei Yisrael ba'arvot Moav al Yarden Yerecho. These are the commandments and regulations that Adonai enjoined upon the Israelites through Moses on the steppes of Moab at the Jordan near Jericho. At this point in the narrative, Moses had not died, nor had he offered a farewell address to the Israelites. Our portions this week place the Israelites on the cusp of crossing the Jordan River. You could say it was a bit of a cliffhanger. What we should consider then this week and in upcoming weeks is what were the pieces of the narrative that were left hanging at the end of Numbers? Why did it seem necessary to the biblical author or authors to write an additional book to capture the final days of Moses' life? What was it about the end of the book of Numbers that left ancient readers feel incomplete? I'll be talking more about the place of the book of Numbers, including its conclusion, on tomorrow morning's live stream at Shabbat services. Please join us on the Temple Beth Tzedek live stream Shabbat morning beginning at 10 a.m. Wishing everyone a Shabbat Shalom.